Every year since 1936, there has been a very special event in the harness racing calendar. A unique series fiercely contested by man and horse, the Blue Ribbon event of harness racing throughout the Southern Hemisphere. It has the magic and prestige which can only be compared to races such as the Melbourne Cup. It is the Inter-Dominion, the ultimate test of endurance by man and horse. Sensation has never eluded this great race. It has seen controversy, heartbreak, sheer frustration and overwhelming joy throughout its 49-year-long history. This year, once again, a cavalcade of champions from all over Australia and New Zealand has gathered in Melbourne to contest the greatest series in harness racing history. 1985 is the ultimate Inter-Dominion. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Moonee Valley, tonight being the ultimate Inter-Dominion Championship. We've got a crowd here tonight of in excess of 30,000 people, I would say. Cars are parked everywhere. They've taken over the steeplechase track here at Moonee Valley, and on this perfect night, it's a glorious sight to see. The previous race in the program, candidates are just coming back to scale now. As you can see, section of the big crowd, the bands in attendance to entertain the crowd, and we saw a very good win in the race just decided to the New Zealander Enterprise. And there are the candidates as they come back to scale. So at this stage, let's go down to the track and say a very good evening to Peter Donegan.
Thank you very much, Bill, and a very good evening, everyone. Well, what a magnificent sight it is from down here on the track at Moonee Valley, and as I look towards the grandstands to see, as Bill mentioned, 30,000 people for this one of the great nights of harness racing anywhere in the world, the 1985 Inter-Dominion Championship. And the weather is absolutely perfect here at Moonee Valley in Melbourne. You couldn't wish for a better night. Very still evening, the temperature is just right, and the crowd is expecting a great clash. Will we see Preux Chevalier maintain his great record in the Inter-Dominion Championships? Will Gamelite take out his third title, or will it be an upset result? The track here at Moonee Valley, for those of you who may not be familiar with it, is 900 metres in circumference. The straight is 175 metres long. So for the Inter-Dominion journey, they'll be released at the top of the straight and come down to the judge and go 3 circuits. The mobile barrier takes 6 horses across the front and 4 horses for the second line in the Inter-Dominion final. The track itself is made of crushed shell grit, so it makes it a very fast surface, only rivalled by Albion Park in Queensland as one of the fastest surfaces here in Australia. The turns are cambered for speed. The track record here is 1 minute 53.2 seconds for the mile, and Preux Chevalier himself holds the record for the Inter-Dominion distance of 2,870 metres. It truly is a great sight. And of course, it's 7 years ago since the last Inter-Dominion was run here at Moonee Valley. There were about 36,000 people here that night. The atmosphere was much the same. And let's cast our minds back 7 years and recall the 1978 Inter-Dominion Grand Final.
Junction Road, Velvet Prince, out wide Soul Command, Paleface Adios got badly checked. Mark Avina, the leader, with 50 metres to go. He's just in front of Velvet Prince, Soul Command, DeMonte Hanover flying with a Hermosa Star. Mark Avina in front of the line, and he's won it by a metre to Hermosa Star, Velvet Prince third. Just behind them, DeMonte Hanover, Royal Gaze. Then came Soul Command. Paleface Adios was knocked over from Tanhill, Junction Road, and Don't Retreat has run last.
So in about half an hour, another horse will join the list of champions as an Inter-Dominion winner. We'll be looking at some of the great Inter-Dominions of years gone by, and also talking to some of the drivers involved in tonight's Inter-Dominion Championships. We'll return live here to Moonee Valley after this break.
Final night of the Ultimate Inter-Dominion Pacing Championship, and the enormous crowd of around the 30,000 mark probably won't know officially until tomorrow. It'll take them so long to count, but I can assure you that it brings back the halcyon days of racing and pacing. to see this enormous crowd in wonderful conditions. It's still around 25 degrees here in Melbourne, and they've come to see the final, the greatest paces in Australasia engaged in tonight's race. The scene we see before us at the moment's got nothing to do with what's happening here at Moonee Valley tonight. And the number one in the race, Toby Dwayne, he'll be about a 50 to 1 chance in the race, quite famous. He'd be about a 14 to 15 to 1 chance, or perhaps a little less, I'd imagine. Wright from Western Australia will be about a 30 to 1 chance, as we see the Fiji police band marching down the straight now. Village Kid's the second favourite, be round about 5 to 1 or so, I would imagine, the West Australian. Gosh, he'd be at long odds, be close to 100 to 1. Gay Morrow would be about a 50 to 1 chance. Pannion, it's given a good each way chance. It'd be around about the 12-14 to 1 mark, I would suggest Pannion. Gamelite, well, he'll be about a 12 to 1 chance with the bookmakers, but of course Victorian totalisation punters, they won't let him go out anywhere near that because he's such a popular horse, and tonight having his last start, this winner of the last 2 Interdominion Championships. Bundanoon from New South Wales, he'll be at long odds in the race, and Persia Valley, of course, will be the favourite, and he was about 9 to 4 on in the pre-post betting today for the Interdominion Championship final. Well, it's time for us now to go back into the past a little bit. We're going to have a look at some Interdominions, bring back some memories for you, I'm sure, as we go back to the first of 5 we're going to show you in 1960.
Caduceus on the outside, then Maestro's Melody followed by Outmap. It's Federal just in front as they come near to the turn. From Caduceus inch by inch wearing him down. Then Maestro's Melody and Outmap. Federal first around the corner. Caduceus coming at him, and it's Federal and Caduceus staging a soul-stirring struggle as they get near the wire. Caduceus in front, Maestro's Melody and Outmap trying too late. Caduceus won it from Outmap. Third in the event, Maestro's Melody followed by Federal Ross Lawn. Carrigan Bay putting in his claim on the outside now. In the centre, dropping back a little now. Oh, and the Raider came down there and interfered with several runners. Cats going in all directions, but around the home turn. And Carrigan Bay, the leader, from Waitaki, and over on the inside. And Carrigan Bay won the money. Carrigan Bay has won the money from Dusty Miller, who flew home on the outside. Waitaki and over third, followed then by Binaro. But round the bend they come, they straighten up, they come along to the furlong post, and Junior Dimage is the leader. Junior Dimage being kept up to its work from Manara. Then we've got Holy Hell, followed by Stella Frost. Junior Dimage dropping a wee bit, but hang on. Manara bridges the gap, they race for the judges line, I won't name it. We've got...
My next Junior's Image wins the 1971 Interdominion Pacing title from Stella Frost of Templeton, with Manara from Methven a bare nose further back.
That's the order on the top turn. Hondo Grattan moves up to challenge Jason King, and out wide Royal Ascot joining in. Hondo Grattan has gone to the lead. Royal Ascot on the outside, Jason King on the inside, dropped off. Glamour Chief will come down the outside, just too good, blocked for a run. Hondo Grattan, Royal Ascot, Glamour Chief rattling home out wide. Royal Ascot doing a little better. Hondo Grattan hanging on the inside. It's going to be awfully close. Oh, Hondo Grattan, all Royal Ascot, Glamour Chief, all just too good. Into the straight, it's Frosty him. Lacano going up, the driver looks back, he has it. Here's Koala King with that great burst at the finish. It's Lacano just in front. Koala King down the outside, takes it out. What a great win. Koala King beats Lacano. Baby Coursefield, all Frosty and Paleface Adios, a great run.
Wonderful memories of wonderful horses that have taken out the final of the Interdominion Championship. The Knight Stable is one of the strongest in Victoria. Their great horse, Popular Arm, failed in his bid to get fit for the Interdominion Championship, but they're still well represented, and Pannion is their contestant, given a quiet each-way chance of winning the event. Popular driver Vin Knight now with Peter Donegan.
Well, Bill, one can really feel the tension here in the mounting yard before the Interdominion final. One man who I'm sure feels a few butterflies in his stomach, even though he's been there before, is Vinnie Knight. Vin, you're driving Pannion, you must have been very disappointed when you saw the barrier draw of 7 inside the second row.
Oh yeah, I pulled the draw out myself, so I'm pretty smart, aren't I, Pete?
Now, how disappointing was it, firstly, not to get Popular Arm ready for the Interdominion?
Oh, well, when you've got a champion like Popular Arm and you don't get him to the Interdominions on your home track, it's really disappointing because he's sensational to drive, and you know, you just got that much confidence in him. It's just, you know, words can't describe it really.
Vinnie, Panion won on Saturday night, but on the Wednesday night he wasn't all that impressive. Has the horse's form worried you at all?
Oh, not really, Pete. I've been very pleased with the horse. The run you're talking about disappointed me a little bit, but he backed up after a hard run on the Saturday night, and then he's come out again on the Saturday night after the Wednesday, and I thought he'd done a good job. He won very soft, and no, he's pleased me. For a horse like him, he's really pleased me, you know.
You're a good judge of a horse. How good is Pressure Value?
Oh, undoubtedly a champion. We all know that. He's had some hard runs. They tell me he's thrived during the week, which, you know, he's got it too, because he's got a bad draw and he's really good. There's no doubt about him, Peter. I just got to get the right run and hope for a clear passage and hope it's a clean run race, and I'll be up there, you know.
Now, Vinnie, as I said, you've been there before. Just how do you feel before an Inter-Dominion final with only about 20 minutes or so to go?
Well, I felt real good until you said I might have a few butterflies. I forgot the Inter-Dominion's coming off in it the next race. Yeah, no. What'd you mention that for? I was travelling one out, one back.
As soon as you come out of the barrier, I'm sure it'll be fundamentally just another race, though.
Oh, yeah, my home track. You know, once you get a little bit of pre-race nerves probably coming to the final, but I think, you know, all you do is hope for a nice, clean run race and everything goes good for everybody, and we'll be in their fight.
Best of luck, Vinnie.
Thanks a lot, Pete.
Vin Knight, who'll be driving Panion in tonight's Inter-Dominion Grand Final here at Moonee Valley. We'll be talking to some of the other drivers involved in the big race shortly. In the meantime, back to Bill Collins.
And the time for the final of the Ultimate Inter-Dominion gradually drawing closer. We'll be back live at the Moonee Valley Harness Track after this break.
Of the 1985 Inter-Dominion, and one of the proudest men, I'd imagine, but also in a way one of the saddest men here at Moonee Valley tonight, is about to jump into the sulky behind his old mate Gamelite and Bruce Clark. Bruce, it really must be a sad occasion for you. His last race tonight. You've got some marvellous memories of a great career.
Certainly, Peter. We've had a great time with Gamelite. He's been a great competitor all through his career. He's really a professional racehorse. He adapts to any conditions, and yes, there are some sad moments about tonight. Last time I'll probably get a chance to drive a horse that is as good as Gamelite, but anyway, I hope we can account for a good performance.
He had a setback a few weeks ago, and it just seems that he's running towards his best form, as indicated by his win last week. It was a very courageous performance.
Yes, Peter, he thrives through the Inter-Dominion Carnival, and he proceeds to get better as the Carnival proceeds.
Now, any pre-race plans tonight, or just take things as they come?
Yes, we have got pre-race plans. I wouldn't like to divulge them at this present time.
I don't think we'd ask you to.
But there's so many different ways that the race can be run, and I don't think that you should go into a race with just one plan in your mind, because if it turns the other way, well, then you can make some awful blunders.
Bruce, there's $180,000 in prize money tonight. There's a lot more at that, of course, at stake with Gamelite, his third title in a row. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if you got a bill for about $1 million if you happen to win, because I'm sure they're going to take the roof off the grandstand.
It'll be a great moment if we can.
Bruce, I know that much of Australia is behind you. Certainly many people in Victoria wish you the best of luck, and let's hope the old champ can make it 3 in a row.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Bruce Clark, who'll be driving Gamelite in tonight's Inter-Dominion. Runners in the mounting yard. Let's go back to Bill Collins.
Yes, things will be underway very shortly, but right now we'll take you back 1 year to have a look at the last lap of the 1984 Inter-Dominion Championship.
1,000 to go, and it's still a chestnut. Gamelite in front. He's looking around, leads by 2 metres to Gov's Pride. Running third is Thorlo Bell as they get the bell, and here comes Bundanoon. Bundanoon is charging around the field with an electrifying sprint. Black Irish is trying to go with him. 1 circuit to go, and Gamelite is the leader. He ran the first half in 1-4, and Gamelite leads from Bundanoon going up to challenge. Thorlo Bell is third. Running fourth is Gov's Pride, a length further back, Black Irish. They're followed by Out for Glory, further back, not before time. Here comes Almana. Further back in the field came Willadios, and Enterprise is last down the back. Gamelite by a metre. Second on the outside is Bundanoon. 3 wide now is Black Irish. Under the whip, Thorlo Bell from Gov's Pride. Further back was Almana. Then came Not Before Time, and Enterprise is starting a run. 400 to go, and Gamelite has kicked away. Leads by 2 metres to Black Irish and Bundanoon. Next on the inside, Thorlo Bell. Almana under pressure from Enterprise. Not Before Time. A line of 3 on the bend. Gamelite just leads from Bundanoon. Down the outside, Black Irish. They straighten up. Gamelite in front. front. Clark goes for the whip. Gamelite has kicked away. Norlow Bell closing fast. Gamelite in front with 50 to go. It's Gamma. Gamelite wins by 3 metres to Norlow Bell. 3 metres away third is Bundanoon. They're followed by Black Irish. Further back in the field then came Almana. Then came Enterprise from Out for Glory, Not Before Time, Gov's Pride. And last in the 84 Into the Minion is Will Adios.
And there he is, the old champion, Gamelite, winner of the last 2 Inter-Dominion championships. And the roar from the crowd here when he broke through and won his heat last Saturday night to say that he's going to get into the final was absolutely something delightful to hear. It was magnificent. Now, Peter Donegan, I believe you have some interesting news for us.
Well, down here in the mounting yard at Moonee Valley, we've just received some rather sensational news before the running of the Inter-Dominion, and that is that the veterinary surgeon, accompanied by the stewards, has been inspecting Preux Chevalier for about the last 10 minutes or so. Now, that is the word that we've just heard down here in the mounting yard. At this stage, as I look around, I can't see the horse in the mounting yard. I believe that they are still inspecting him. So that is the situation down here. Quite a sensational occurrence before the running of the Inter-Dominion. As I say, no appearance yet from Preux Chevalier in the mounting yard. We'll keep you posted as to the latest developments, but in the meantime, let's go back to Bill.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. We couldn't stand a sensation like this, the long odds-on favourite in the final of the Inter-Dominion, and if something were amiss with him, let's hope that it's just one of those things. Let's take this commercial break and then we'll be back. On Inter-Dominion Championship final night, and Preux Chevalier still not in the mounting yard as we know it. There are the other runners moving around, but earlier in the night we saw a fantastic performance put up by Scotch Notch, who ran a special time trial. There was to have been a trotters free for all here tonight, but Sir Castleton had broken down to a certain extent, and there weren't many prepared to contest the race against Scotch Notch. So she ran a time trial. A fantastic performance. Her previous best had been 158.6 for the flying mile. And the world record on a 1,000-metre track, which is 100 metres bigger than we have at Moonee Valley, is 155.8, held by a horse called the Onion, which was run in Sweden. And here's how Scotch Notch set about her task a little earlier this evening.
Now the trotter, the great trotter Scotch Notch, about to be joined by Rise Above, and they're heading towards the release point at the 1609. She goes through on the inside. We'll wait for the flag to effect the start, and she's on her way. Scotch Notch is away, and she's about a length and a half in front of Rise Above. Her personal best is 158.6, and she set that in the time trial here well over 2 years ago on the 13th of February 1983. And there she goes down the back. The first of the indicator lights will come up halfway around the top turn. That's when she starts to get to her first quarter. And she's got to beat that light to be inside her best of 158.6. She's moving towards the light now. Scotch Notch being kept along by Graham Lang, and there she goes through the lights. She's well inside it. Well inside her best of 158.6, and she runs 28.2 for the first quarter. 28.2 for the first quarter, and into the straight she comes. And the next light will come up just going out of the straight at the 800-metre pole, and that'll be the halfway mark, the half mile. Here she comes, this grand trotter, winner of the Inter-Dominion in 83 and 85. She's out a length and a half in front. Rise Above working just off a wheel, and she's coming up towards the halfway mark now. The indicator light is just on the inside of her at the moment, and she's well inside that. She's a mile in front now. 57.7 for the first half mile. 57.7, and down the back this great trotting there goes. Scotch Notch working along. Lang about to get busy on her now. She moved away about a length and a half to Rise Above, and down the back she goes. She's heading towards the three-quarter mark now. Scotch Notch trotting to perfection down the back, trying to beat the clock tonight here at Moonee Valley, and she's coming up towards the three-quarter mark as she starts to head off the back straight now. Scotch Notch still with a good lead. She comes around the top turn, and 126.4 at the three-quarter mark. 126.4. Here she comes to the home turn as the clock ticks over towards 1:35. She comes around the top bend. The pacemaker's on the outside of her, sitting back about 2 lengths, but it's Scotch Notch up the home straight. She's trying to race the clock. She's heading towards 1:44, 1:45, 1:46. She's still about a metre in front. Lang's throwing everything at this great mare. She's got to 150. Here she's heading towards the line. Can she break the record? She goes over the line in 1:55.6. A great run, 1:55.6, set by Scotch Notch. And
And there is Per Chevalier. It is on the track. It's been passed fit to run. And incidentally, Scotch Notch recorded 1 minute 55.6 seconds in that time trial. Yes, that's right, for a trotter, 155.6 for the mile. And that smashed the Australasian record of 157.7 held by Amazon. Also the world record on a 1,000-metre track held by the Onion of 155.8, smashed it by 0.2 of a second, and of course smashed to smithereens the world mare's record of 157.8 held by a New Zealander, Trilogy, and one from the United States at Florida. It was registered by Fancy Crowns. There are the candidates now coming down the race. That's Panyan at the moment, coming down the race out onto the track. And as they made the parade, Toby Dwayne was the first one to lead them out onto the track. And he's just disappearing around the corner there at the moment. Quite famous. There's the mighty Gamelite, winner of the last 2 Inter-Dominion Championships. Gamelite, a great horse, and this is to be his last race tonight. Sentimental favourite with the crowd always. So much so is he a sentimental favourite here in Melbourne that his price on the tote was about 1/3 of his price in the bookmaker's ring. People right throughout the state of Victoria have put their 50 cents for a win in a place. He's 2 to 1 on the tote for a place. That's what they think of him. There's Per Chevalier leaving the mounting yard, about to come down the race. This mighty pacer from Western Australia. He's had 44 starts for 33 wins and 7 placings, only out of a place 4 times in his career. And the driver is Barry Perkins. Number 1 in the race is Toby Dwayne. Toby Dwayne from New South Wales, and is driven by David Aitken.
Here's Bundanoon and Toby Dwayne with a late run. Toby Dwayne and Bundanoon out wide, flying at the leaders as they get near the line with Gamelite. And Bundanoon's won at a neck to Toby Dwayne. 3rd placing to Gamelite.
There he is, Toby Dwayne. 54 starts, 16 wins, 14 seconds and 8/3. He was 2nd in the Eastern States 4-year-old challenge in 1984, one of his finest performances. Number 2 is Quite Famous, driven by Jim O'Sullivan.
Chevalier, he's 6 metres in front. Quite Famous boxing on doggedly, making up ground. Toby Dwayne will get up and run 3rd. Pro Chevalier stopping near the line, but he gets home by 2 metres to Quite Famous. 8 metres away, 3rd was Toby Dwayne.
Quite Famous, driven by Jim O'Sullivan, has had 47 starts for 17 wins and 16 placings. He's won $72,000 in stakes. And in racing, he won the 1985 Victorian 4-year-old championship. That's the roar for Per Chevalier as it's introduced to the crowd and makes its way onto this 900-metre track at Moonee Valley. Number 3 is Right, and the driver Fred Kersley.
Right is out after the leader, Gosh. Gosh in front. Right is pegging it back. LTI gets out late from man of the moment. Gosh just the leader from Right near the line, and Gosh got there. Gosh a neck on the line to Right. A nose away 3rd. Something beaten LTI.
Right has had 67 starts for 18 wins, 16 placings. Has won $62,180 in stakes. And is a heat winner of the 1984 Western Australian Cup, finishing unplaced in the final. Right, driven by top West Australian rangeman Fred Kersley. Number 4 is Village Kid, driven by Chris Lewis.
Henry Bruce, Gamelite's under pressure. Our Lady Ella's down the outside, followed by Springfield Raja. But Village Kid is absolutely going to bolt in. He's striding away from Henry Bruce. Gamelite is boxing on, but Village Kid leads all the way and scores by 8 metres. Henry Bruce has run 2nd.
Village Kid has had 25 starts only in its career for 12 wins and 7 minor placings. Has won just about $160,000 in stakes. And it was the one who lowered the colours of Per Chevalier in the big race in Western Australia, the Benson and Hedges at Christmas time. A great horse. He's won one of the heats, ran great races in the other 2, and he's my tip to run a mighty race. Village Kid, driven by Chris Lewis.
Straight to leader. LTI trying to get clear. He still can't see daylight.
Riders out after the leader, Gosh. Gosh in front. Riders pegging it back. LTI gets out late from man of the moment. Gosh just the leader from right near the line, and Gosh got there. Gosh a neck on the line to right, a nose away third. Something beaten LTI.
Gosh has had 44 starts for 26 wins, 4 seconds and 2/3, has won $125,000 odd in prize money. One of the outsiders in the race, but a good, honest campaigner. Number 6 is Game Oro, driven by Ken Pocock.
Right, Game Oro well clear with 200 to go. He's bolted away now, Game Oro, from Panyan, and then right down the outside from Karamia, Duplicity and Gosh. But Game Oro goes on to win by about 4 metres. Second placing to Panyan, a half.
Game Oro has had 27 starts only for 13 wins and 6 minor placings, and has won just under $50,000 in stake money. Ken Pocock, the driver, of course, no stranger to Inter Dominions. He's won one already. Number 7 is Panyan, driven by Vin Knight.
Crystal Glenmar being joined by Panyan the outside, going the better. 6 metres away, Joy Boy, but Panyan doing it easily with 80 metres to go. He draws 2 metres to Crystal Glenmar. Joy Boy hanging on to third, and Panyan wins 3 metres to Crystal.
Panyan has had 58 starts for 21 wins and 17 minor placings, has won over $100,000 in stake money, and is driven by Vin Knight, of course. And it has won the Naya Cup, the Coca-Cola Classic, the Maryborough Derby, ran third in the Winfield and AG Hunter Cups. Gamelite, you can see in the screen there now. Number 10, Gamelite. Just disappearing out of the screen past the judge's box on his way around the track. And we'll pan the camera back to the right and we'll have a look for Gamelite just turning out of the straight. Gamelite, driven by Bruce Clark. What a mighty horse he's been. Gamelite just going down the back stretch now, and there he is, 179 starts and already a dual Inter Dominion winner. Gamelite has won 94 of his starts.
Followed by LTI. It's Gamelite and Game Oro. Gamelite put his head in front. The old champ straight away. He's got 2 metres. Right finishing well with LTI and Gosh getting out. But Gamelite gets into his third final. Gamelite 2 metres to Gosh, right third.
As well as his 94 wins, Gamelite has been second 33 times and third on 19 occasions. And he's amassed a total of $1,380,480 in his wonderful career, which is to end tonight. Hopefully, if not in real glory, with a magnificent final effort from him. And coming up near the 400-metre mark, the turn out of the back straight, we see Bundanoon. Bundanoon, driven by Brian Hancock.
Got the raging bull, but Bundanoon's coming home all over the top of them on the outside. He grabbed away with 60 metres to go, Bundanoon. Toby Wayne is getting a late split with Quite Famous and Camelot down the outside, but Bundanoon gets home. 2 metres, maybe Toby Wayne second, and nose to Camelot.
Bundanoon has had 134 starts for 48 wins, 28 seconds, 19 thirds. He's won more than $200,000 in prize money, a great old campaigner. And there is number 12, Preux Chevalier.
At a 10 minutes, here he is in one of his great wins.
Then Toby Dwayne, Bundanoon, I'm a Orphan, Man of the Moment, Gamelot and Thor Skipper. But in the straight of the 150, and it's all Pro Chevalier. He's 6 metres in front. Quite Famous boxing on doggedly, making up ground. Toby Dwayne will get up and run third. Pro Chevalier stopping near the line, but he gets home by 2 metres to Quite Famous. 8 metres away, third was Toby Dwayne.
And Pro Chevalier now has been thoroughly examined again, and I noticed one of the stewards making a hurried dash back. I hope it's not bad news that he's got. No, the driver's back in the sulky there. Slight worrying moment there when I saw the one of the stewards of the vet. I'm not sure which it was, but I saw him sprinting back. But Pro Chevalier is out there on the track again. He's been passed fit to start. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please take note that Pro Chevalier has been declared fit to start in the Inter-Dominion. Pro Chevalier has been declared fit to start. Whew, sigh of relief from everybody. Not the least the crowd here tonight who have come to see just how good he is. And in a short space of time, they will find out. The race will run late. It is now past starting time. But this has been because of the prolonged examination of Pro Chevalier by the stewards and the veterinary surgeon, making sure that the horse, which is holding millions of dollars in public money throughout Australia and New Zealand, can run in the event. Drivers making final checks on gear in the back stretch, and while we wait for them to get back in the sulky, let's go down to Peter Donegan.
Right, thanks very much, Bill. Well, Barry Gilbo's with me at the moment, the man who's been looking over Pro Chevalier. What was the problem, Barry?
Well, we believe he just had a little pain in the tummy, Peter. I think he might have rectified that now. We'll just go round to the start and get Barry Perkins' opinion of him, and I think he is a starter.
And Barry Perkins is quite happy with him?
Barry Perkins is quite happy as he left here, yes.
OK, Barry, thanks very much. Barry Gilbo, the Harness Racing Board veterinary surgeon. High drama before the start of the Inter-Dominion final. There's the mobile now, about to make its way to the starting point. Let's return to Bill Collins.
And a special call to make here to the band on the North Hill. Could we ask you to stop playing now? The band on the North Hill, we've been asked to request you to cease playing. Sorry about that one, but it's one of the course announcements we had to make. I don't think they could hear me anyway. They're blowing away in the bagpipes. I don't think they heard a word I said. So perhaps someone will also run up and tell them. Here are some of the drivers making their final checks of gear. Panyan in the gold with the red Maltese cross. Beside it is Gamelite. Bruce Clark out of the sulky making final arrangements with his gear. Seems to be satisfied now. They're round the back near the 400. The mobile on the track, the track 900 metres, so they'll start at the top of the straight, 28.70. That's over 14 furlongs in the old. Bundanoon is round there ready with Gamelite and Panyan. Gosh, Quite Famous, Village Kid, and Toby Dwayne, Wright, Pro Chevalier, Village Kid, the Western Australians. They've got 3 representatives. Wright is the other one. The mobile working its way towards the starting point, threading its way through the runners. In many big races, I've noticed, particularly in the last year or so, that drivers have panicked and they've tried to win them a lap or a lap and a half from home. I'm wondering if this will happen. They'll all be keyed up watching for Pro Chevalier to make that move. And what's Bruce Clark's secret plan? Is he going to try and go early on Gamelite? He's a plotter Gamelite. He grinds them. He's like pure steel used to be. No brilliance, but he does grind them, and Clark no doubt will want to take them on a fair way from home.
Let's join Bill Collins for his call of the 1985 Inter-Dominion.
Now the mobile barrier is in position for the running of the 1985 Ultimate Inter-Dominion Championship. The starter about to call the 10 great paces up to the line. Forming a line 100 metres behind the mobile, Tony Dwayne on the inside from Quite Famous, moving up to join Wright. Village Kid in 4, Gosh. And then on the outside of the front row is Gay Morrow.
Okay, Keith.
Trailers, Panyan, Gamelite, Bundanoon and Pro Chevalier. The mobile starting to move.
Bring them along, drivers.
Quite Famous back a fraction. They're all pacing, swinging round the turn. Here's the start coming up. They're ready. Green light, and away they go in the Inter-Dominion Championship, and Village Kid away like a rocket out wide. He's going to lead them. Per Chevalier has locked wheels with Wright, who was slowly away. Got down again now, but Village Kid led out of the straight from Gosh, followed then over on the inside by Toby Dwayne. Quite Famous settles in the 1-1 sit, and they're followed by Panion, who's got up 5th on the rails from Gamalite away well. Then Bundanoon about 6 metres to Gay Morrow, and Wright and a sulky's length to Per Chevalier, who's last. Village Kid in front, and Lewis slowing them up now. He doesn't want to go fast. Quite Famous takes off round the outside and moves up into second placing, and they're followed by Toby Dwayne, and here's Per Chevalier taking off from the rear. He's sprinting around them down the back straight, but Village Kid just the leader from Quite Famous, who's in the depth. 6 metres now to Per Chevalier going up on the outside, 3 deep around Gosh and Toby Dwayne. 8 metres to Panyan from Gamalite. He's under the whip already to make him go as they sprinted. They're followed by Wright, Bundanoon, and last of all as they swing around the corner, Gay Morrow. At the end of a lap now, and Per Chevalier continuing that run's gone around them and has taken the lead. The favourites hit the front at the end of a lap. Village Kid, the other West Australian, sitting behind him second. Quite Famous going in onto the rails third, and they're followed behind them by Toby Dwayne. Gosh is the first one out on the outside, and it was followed by Gamalite with Panion tucked in on the rails from Wright, and then came Bundanoon, and last of all Gay Morrow. Out of the straight towards the 1600, and the leader Per Chevalier, a sulky's length the Village Kid. Again to Quite Famous, and again on the inside Toby Dwayne. Gosh leading the outside as Per Chevalier's driver slows them up. Gamalite hard driven trying to follow Gosh up, and they were followed then by Panyan. Next is Bundanoon being tapped up, and Gay Morrow on the outside of Wright. They're halfway in the Inter-Dominion final, and the leader is Per Chevalier. By a sulky's length, the Village Kid getting a good trail behind him from Gosh the outside in the breeze third. Then Quite Famous from Gamalite, hard driven on the outside of Toby Dwayne. Next in the field then is Bundanoon, and it was followed by Panyan. On the outside is Gay Morrow, and last is Wright, about 24 metres off the lead. Entering the straight now, and as they come down to get the bell, 1100 to go. It's Per Chevalier, a sulky's length to Gosh. Village Kid on its inside, and then a sulky's length to Gamalite. Back on the rails, Quite Famous, followed in by Bundanoon, Toby Dwayne, Gay Morrow, Panyan second last, and last at the bell is Wright. 1 lap to go, and the hot favourite Per Chevalier, unbeaten through the series, led a sulky's length the Village Kid and Gosh together. In 4th placing is Quite Famous with on his outside Gamalite. Then Toby Dwayne badly boxed up. Next Bundanoon. Panyan pulled out 3 deep from Gay Morrow and Wright. 700 to go into the back, and Per Chevalier under double wraps, 2 metres to Gosh. A metre to Village Kid going easily but locked in. Now Gamalite pulled out 3 deep on the outside. Bundanoon and Panyan 4 and 5 wide. Quite Famous with nowhere to go. But Per Chevalier in front, and the driver Perkins has a look around. He's a sulky's length to Village Kid and Gosh together. Village Kid still looks his main danger, but he'll never let him out. They're followed by Gamalite on the outside of Quite Famous and Toby Dwayne. The rest look beaten. Per Chevalier headed around the turn, 2 metres to Gosh. Village Kid boxed up. Gamalite coming 3 deep. Gay Morrow 4 wide, but Per Chevalier clear in the straight. He pulls the whip on him. He's 2 or 3 metres in front. Gay Morrow coming down the outside. Village Kid trying to get out. Per Chevalier in front. Village Kid gets out too late, and Per Chevalier has won the Inter-Dominion. 2 metres to Village Kid, and nose away third Gay Morrow. Then Toby Dwayne and Gamalite just behind them. Next is Gosh, followed by Quite Famous. Further back in the field is Wright, Panyan, and Bundanoon is last to finish. Official placings for the Inter-Dominion Pacing Championship final of 1985. The winner is number 12, Per Chevalier, driven by B. Perkins. Number 12, Per Chevalier, B. Perkins first. And it's a photo finish to separate number 4, Village Kid, from number 6, Game Oro. And just behind them were Toby Dwayne and Gamalite. A magnificent performance by Per Chevalier. He locked wheels with Bundanoon just after the start. But Per Chevalier was flat out at the finish. He had the whip on him with about 150 metres to go. And he was too good. Gay Morrow looked a threat for a couple of strides, but he battled on magnificently, and Village Kid got out when it was too late, went to the post strongly, but the great horse Chevalier has won the Inter-Dominion Championship. After the photos, second placing has gone to number 4, Village Kid, driven by A. Lewis, and third placing to number 6, Game Oro, driven by K. Pocock. Officially fourth was Gamelite, and fifth in the event, Toby Dwayne. And right now, let's go down to Peter Donegan.
Thanks very much, Bill. Well, it's a delight at Ken Lavin, the owner at Chevalier, the winner of the Inter-Dominion. Ken, you must have had some very, very anxious moments before the race.
Terrible, terrible moments. We won't know what went wrong. The last 10 minutes, there was something wrong with the horse. The vets cleared him. I wasn't happy, but he raced, and what a run.
It's made up for it now. It must be an enormous thrill.
Oh, yes, enormous.
Can you describe it at all?
Look, I'm lost for words. I'm sorry. I'm out of a tree. Use an expression, all right?
Well, Ken, congratulations, and a champion horse, a champion effort.
He certainly is. Thank you.
Ken Lavin, the owner of Chevalier, the Inter-Dominion champion of 1985, and we'll be back with more of the glory after this.
These boys.
Well, a very excited crowd has witnessed a remarkable Inter-Dominion Championship, the drama. Let's go down now to Peter Donegan.
Thanks, Bill. And we're down here on the winner's stool, and Barry Perkins is right beside us. He's looking after his champion, and we'll just see if we can have a quick word to Barry. Barry, how were those agonising moments before the race?
Yeah, we were a bit worried. He was very unusual in the box before the race. He appeared to have a touch of colic. We gave him a prelim, and the horse emptied himself out, and after that he appeared to be right.
When you first took him out there and Barry Gilbo was having a look at him, did you have any doubts yourself that he felt the old Chevalier?
He didn't feel as keen in the first part of the prelim as he had in other starts, but after he had done a good droppings, he felt just about right after that.
All right, now in the race, how was your confidence level when you took off around them? You were in front with a lap to go. The old Chevalier, nothing would have beaten him, but was there a doubt in your mind just seeing he hadn't been 100%?
Well, I'd changed my plans. I was going to pull back to last, and I thought if there's anything wrong with him, I wasn't going to knock him around. They were going that slow, and I saw Gosh up in the breeze. I happened to take off at the same time as Quite Famous. I knew I'd get to the breeze easy, while Gosh would be quite happy for a sit. Then when we got to the breeze, I thought if I kept going that Village Kid wouldn't really want to get pushed too far from home like that. So when we got to the front, the rest of the field left me alone, and I was able to slow him right down and save my horse a bit. And Gosh did a mighty job staying up alongside me. I held back as good as I could, but I had to go halfway down the straight.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people in your home state of Western Australia watching this, very proud of you. You raised your whip when you went past the winning post. Can you describe how you felt just briefly?
Well, I'm glad it's all over.
Good on you, Barry. Barry Perkins, the winning driver with Chevalier in the Inter-Dominion of 1985. I think we might take the opportunity of returning upstairs to a gentleman who I'm sure would agree was a great final, Bill Collins.
Yes, a great final indeed as we look at Chevalier, and we'll have the margins and time coming through now. It was a mile rating of 2 minutes and 3/10 of a second. The all clear is up. A mile rating of 2 minutes and 3/10, 12, 4 and 6 the numbers. The winning margin 2 metres, a half head between second and third. The kilo rate was 1:14.8 and the mile rate 2 minutes and 3/10 of a second. They ran the last half mile in 58.7 seconds. So they certainly moved along, and we'll take this commercial break and then we'll be back on Inter-Dominion night at Mooney Valley. Here's Peter Donegan to lead into the official presentation by His Excellency the Governor.
Ladies and gentlemen, just prior to the presentation of trophies after the running of the 1985 Inter-Dominion Grand Final, would you salute two champions, Barry Perkins and Chevalier. And now for the official presentation of trophies, it's my pleasure to introduce the Chairman of the Harness Racing Board of Victoria, Mr. Trevor Craddock.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the Governor of Victoria, Sir Brian Murray and Lady Murray, the Minister for Sport, Mr Neil Tresice, the President of the Inter-Dominion Council, Mr Robert Shaw, the Chairman of the Australian Harness Racing Council, Dr Ern McNair, and our sponsors, the Ultimate Computer Company Managing Director Mr Brian Dean, and the Chairman of the Herald and Weekly Times Limited, Sir Keith McPherson, and ladies and gentlemen. You have just witnessed the ultimate in harness racing in the Southern Hemisphere. I think you'll all agree with me. You've also broken the course record by your attendance tonight. You're a magnificent crowd, and I hope you enjoyed a magnificent race, because this is the ultimate for all trainers, drivers and owners to win an Inter-Dominion. And I think on behalf of the Harness Racing Board, we ought to congratulate and thank all those connected with the 40 horses that originally competed in this series or for this carnival. I think they all deserve congratulations. And of course, only one horse can win, and what a great horse. But my position now is to introduce to you, remembering this is an Inter-Dominion and not just our local race, and to introduce to you the President of the Inter-Dominion Council, Mr Robert Shaw from New Zealand. Mr Robert Shaw.
Your Excellency and Lady Murray, Ministers of the Crown, which include, I'm glad to say, the Honourable Geoffrey Pearsall, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Racing for Tasmania, who's come to be with us for this night, distinguished guests, which include the representatives of the sponsors, Mr Craddock, Chairman and members of the Harness Racing Board, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you'll agree that this has been a great race and up to the full traditions of this great championship. One, as you've heard, as you've seen, by Preux Chevalier, trained and driven by Barry Perkins. It's a great feat for a trainer to keep his horse fit over the fortnight with 4 hard races, and Preux Chevalier, of course, has won the lot. It's also been a great feat for Barry Perkins to drive each of those races, and I'm sure you'll agree that it was a great drive tonight. Congratulations to all concerned. His Excellency the Governor of Victoria has kindly agreed to make the presentation to the Ultimate Inter-Dominion Pacing Champion, and I now invite him to come forward to do so. Sir Brian Murray.
Thank you very much, Mr Robert Shaw. Mr Chairman, members of the Harness Racing Board, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank the Inter-Dominion Racing Council for allowing Victoria to have the Inter-Dominion here in Melbourne this year in our 150th anniversary year, because it is 1 year out of our normal term. We had it after the 7th year instead of the normal 8th. Tonight is the culmination of many, many weeks of planning and hard work by the Harness Racing Board, the Trotting Council, many trainers, drivers, and not least of all, the horses. In fact, everyone connected with the 1985 Ultimate Inter-Dominion Championships. I congratulate you, Mr. Chairman, the Inter-Dominion Trotting Council, and all members of the Harness Racing Board for what has undoubtedly been an outstanding 2 weeks of Inter-Dominion harness racing. I think we all knew in our heart of hearts that tonight's winner would in all probability be Preux Chevalier. although perhaps most Victorians in their heart of hearts hoped that Gammalite would achieve the almost impossible. Unfortunately, it was not to be. Preux Chevalier is undoubtedly a great champion, a brave knight who has deserved to win this 1985 Ultimate Inter-Dominion final. This champion horse is another example of an inexpensive horse becoming a champion. It's a horse that has made dreams come true for its owners, Mr. and Mrs. Lavin, and his trainer-driver, Mr. Barry Perkins. It's now my great honour and pleasure to ask Mr. and Mrs. Lavin to come forward and be presented with the 1985 Ultimate Inter-Dominion Trophy.
And at this stage we say goodbye to our network stations right throughout in Australia and New Zealand, hoping that you've enjoyed this live telecast of the 1985 Inter-Dominion Championship Final. And for our Victorian viewers, we stay to have a look at the mighty Preux Chevalier once again and the acceptance speech by the owners.
Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's customary now to make a speech. I have a hell of a job at the best of times on minor occasions, and this one is just out of this world. It's a great horse. It was a great win and a tremendous drive by Barry and a great Quinella for WA. This is called the Ultimate Inter-Dominion, and I think it's fair to say that an Ultimate Champion has won it. He's had a tremendous season. If you look at his record in your books there, you'll see he's had probably a quarter of the number of starts as wins as Gammalite, and yet he's already halfway to his stake earnings. As one champion goes, another one comes along. That's history, and I wish Gammalite all the best and his connections when he's retired to stud. I've got a few notes here because I haven't finished yet. I'm making the most of this. When a horse wins a race like this, there's many people behind the scenes that must be thanked. Since we've been here in Geelong, staying at Geelong for this carnival, Doug and Vic, they've helped Barry in the mornings. My son Colin stayed home to look after the team of Barrys, and he would dearly love to have been here. And special thanks to the Buckleys. They've taken us into their home. They've given us the typical Victorian hospitality, and Victoria can be very proud of the way they've taken care of us. I'd like to thank the club for this assistance through the carnival, the Inter-Dominion board for the hospitality from everybody, from the Caduceus Club who's hosted us for 2 occasions. I really don't think there's anything else I can say. It's just a momentous time for my wife and myself, for Barry. Last but not least, many thanks to Barry and the horse. He knows that. They're a wonderful pair. He's a champion bloke and it's a champion horse. Thank you very much.
The next presentation is the Perpetual Trophy, this beautiful trophy here that goes to the chairman of the state in which the winning horse resides. Unfortunately, it won't be staying here, but I'll call on the President of the Inter-Dominion Council to present this Perpetual Trophy to the President of the Western Australian Harness Racing Group, who is Dr. Ern Moonee. So keep it in the family. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to present the Perpetual Trophy of the Inter-Dominion Pacing Championship to Dr. Ern Moonee in his capacity as Chairman of the West Australian Trotting Association. He's to hold that for 1 year, and I enjoin him to produce it in 12 months' time at Brisbane, where the next Inter-Dominion Championships are to be held. Incidentally, West Australia were first and second.
Mr. Robert Shaw, I'm disappointed we weren't also third. This trophy creates all sort of problems for the winning state because no company will carry it. It's solid silver and it has to be hand carried back to the States. It's a long way to West Australia, so I'm pleased that my executive Ross Pike is here because he's stronger than I. We will bring it to Brisbane and we'll take it home from there again next year. Thank you.
Just stay there because we now have a trophy for Barry Perkins, the winning trainer and driver of Pro Chevalier. And Dr. Moonee, would you be so kind as to make that presentation to Barry Perkins? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Craddock, to His Excellency the Governor and Lady Murray, members of Parliament, and to the great people of Melbourne. Barry Perkins is not a metropolitan trainer in West Australia. He trains at Pinjarra, which is a small country town some 60 miles south of Perth. And I remember the first occasion the Pro Chevalier raced. It was at a 600-metre track at Busselton, and he ran fourth, if I remember, and at that time didn't show what you saw tonight. The fact that he's developed to this is due to the skills of Barry Perkins, and I'd extend congratulations to Ken and Wendy Lavin on the loyalty they've shown to Barry Perkins. I've noted in the media over here that you don't understand Barry. He's a very intense person. Tonight there was a lot of pressure on him. He was driving the best or the shortest prize favourite in Inter-Dominion history. How do you think he felt when 10 minutes before the race the horse partly collapsed in its stall? And how would you think he felt turning for home tonight and being uncertain as to whether the horse would finish the race? Barry Perkins, we call him in West Australia BP, the quiet achiever. He doesn't say much, but he's a great person for harness racing, and I congratulate you, Barry, on a most skillful drive.
His Excellency, Lady Murray, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I feel very, very proud to be in a West Australian here tonight to take this trophy back to WA for 12 months. This horse has given me some of the best moments of my life. Tonight's topped them right off. I'd like to thank the owners, Ken and Wendy Lavin. They're champions just like their horse. They leave me alone to do what I like to do with the horse and to place him where I like. I'd also like to thank Frank and Beryl Buckley and Jeff Woodall. They've looked after us well down at Torquay. To the heroes at Torquay and to everybody else who's stuck by with us in the hard times. Thank you.
Now it's the horse's turn, and to drug the horse and place the garland over the horse's neck, we're calling upon Lady Murray, wife of the Governor of Victoria. Lady Murray, could you come forward and we'll bring this famous horse up to receive his reward.
There's Lady Murray with the garland of roses, about to place it around the neck of this magnificent horse, Pro Chevalier, who rated 2 minutes and 3/10 of a second in winning tonight the Ultimate Inter-Dominion final. It was his 34th win from 45 starts and takes his prize money to $617,481. Pro Chevalier from Western Australia, Village Kid from Western Australia was second, and Gay Morrow from Victoria, the Bolter, was third. Grand Old Fellow Gammalite finished fourth, and running fourth